This episode of Creepy Kingdom is brought to you by artist Emma Moiser. Emma's amazing Disney and Haunted Mansion inspired art can be seen in the official t-shirt of the Doom Buggy Spook Show and on her signature blends of tea called A Swinging Wake. Get your very own Hatbox Ghost print by visiting society6.com/Emma Moiser. That's society6.com/Emma Moiser. EMMAMOSIER.
Monster Movie Media presents.
Welcome to Creepy Days, where we take a look back at some of the top Halloween events of 2016, including a look at the Halloween events at every Disney park in the world. Coming up in this episode, we take a look back at our time at Knott Scary Farm. Howdy, folks. Howdy, folks. We're back.
We didn't get that. We're back.
We're back. Here talking about haunts for Creepy Days. I got Miss Shannon McGrew from NightmaresConjurings.com.
Hello. I say the same thing every time.
You need a new one.
And
besides,
every single podcast I'm on, I'm always just like, hello. I don't know.
You got to come with someone else besides, hello.
One of these days.
Hello.
Hello.
Anywho. But we're back talking about haunts for Creepy Kingdom listeners to get excited about. Now, we are focusing our efforts here in Southern California.
Yes.
That's where we're based. And for Nightmares Conjurings, you cover a lot of haunts, many different types of haunts.
We do. All types, shapes, sizes.
Yeah, all shapes and sizes. What kind of shapes are haunts? But
large scale to small scale.
Well, that's a size.
Haunts.
That's not a shape.
Just saying.
Anyways, but on Creepy Kingdom, we're going to be talking about theme park haunts in particular. And, good place for people to, who haven't done haunts but love the creepy, dark stuff we talk about on the show, to kind of dip your toe in and experience these incredible, seasonal, immersive, creepy experiences.
Yeah.
It's like you're shaking your head, but they can't hear you.
Oh, yes.
They can't hear you. So, yeah, we're still... If you listen to our Six Flags episode, we're still in Orlando.
Yes, we are. We're still here.
And if you just want to know geographically where we're talking.
Yes, we're at Cabana Bay.
Yeah. And we're chatting it up here. And speaking of which, we are going to be going to Halloween Horror Nights in Orlando.
Yes, we are. Tomorrow night.
Well, tomorrow, on the day of recording.
I'm sorry, Saturday night.
Well, I mean, they still won't know when it doesn't matter. Who knows when this episode's coming out? But I'm sure we'll talk about that on a future episode.
Yes, we will.
But anyways, that's not what we're talking about on this episode. We're going to talk about Knott Scary Farm.
Yes.
Now, I haven't. This has been said, and I'm sure it's true, and I haven't fact checked it. But Knott's Berry Farm, which is a theme park in Buena Park, California, just down the road from Disneyland, created the haunted house.
Yes, that is. They are considered the grandfather of haunted attractions. So
that's pretty nuts.
Yes. Yes. So they have been doing this for quite a long time.
71, I believe, was what I heard.
Wow.
It was when Knott Scary Farm started.
Yeah.
So it's kind of nuts.
That is, yeah.
But anywho, but they're back in 2016.
They are.
And this is I think this is an event that Creepy Kingdom fans should definitely get into. We had an episode where we went to the preview where they said everything was going to be there, and that was a lot of fun. And I know a lot of people enjoyed hearing that. But
we're excited. They have all the original houses. They usually don't have anything based on any intellectual properties.
No.
So that's fun. And what's been there for the past 4 or 5 years is that Elvira has had a live show there.
Yes.
And I know that Elvira has gotten a lot of people in the door to this event that may not have even, go to haunts.
Yeah, I mean, this year was just incredible. Like, there was just a lot between 2 shows.
Mm-hmm.
Was it like 7 or was it 9 haunts?
Yeah, there was a lot of houses.
And then you have the skeleton key rooms.
Oh, yeah.
So there was a lot.
And skeleton rooms was an upcharge experience.
Yes.
That, and with the skeleton key, you also got front of the line passes to the other haunts.
Yep.
As well. So, I think I kind of have mixed feelings about the idea of an upcharge event, just because it costs more money. But I think the experiences themselves are cool.
Yeah, I mean, well, we'll go through everything.
Sure.
Of. When we went, I'll take a step back. The review that is written on Nightmarish Conjurings was from 2 of my writers who went. One of them got to experience everything, but when we were all there, we did not. So we don't have a review for every single thing.
But we saw most stuff.
Yeah, we saw most stuff. We just missed Fear VR 5150, which we'll go over, and one of the skeleton key rooms. So other than that, we hit everything.
All right.
So I guess we'll just get right on into it.
Let's get on right down to it.
All right. Oh, no, we did miss a maze.
Yes.
Okay. We'll start with the new mazes of this year. There were 2, and the first one was called the Red Barn, and the synopsis was, take a trip to a blood-soaked barn filled with carnivorous animals seeking to prey on human flesh in the Red Barn gore maze. Legend has it that the farmer who owns the barn was transformed into a heinous creature that sends his sadistic sons to ensure his legacy. None dare enter the barn, for those who enter never escape.
Bum, bum.
A lot of people have a lot of opinions on this one.
What's your opinion?
Most are not positive. I really enjoyed it. I had a good time. I thought it had a creepy undertone. I liked it.
It was extremely gory.
It was extremely gory.
That's the thing. It's kind of weird. You don't know. A lot of these theme park haunts, they get kind of gory, but like they won't use profanity or I don't know, or stuff. It's weird where the line is drawn here. But this one was a lot gorier than I had anticipated. I will say that.
Yeah, I really liked it. I just thought it was really creepy.
Yeah, no, it was definitely creepy. It's like just crazy barn folk. I don't know what kind of people you would call them.
Crazy hillbillies. If you've ever seen, what's that movie called? Oh, what is it? Starts with a D.
It starts with a D.
When they're out in the wilderness. I don't remember.
Anyways, all right, we'll move on. We'll move on for that. We'll move on. Anywhoozle.
Yeah, there's not really much more to say about it. It's really gory and
there's lots of machinery and people getting all cut up and bloody and
haystacks. There's a lot of haystacks.
Yeah, a lot of hay.
It was fun. I mean, you're probably either going to love it or you're going to hate it. There doesn't really seem to be an in between.
Gotcha. Oh, so
Deliverance. That was the movie.
Oh, okay. I couldn't think of the name, but I was hearing the banjos.
Think of Deliverance. That is what that haunt is, without some extreme and a banjo playing. The next maze that was new for 2016 was Shadowlands. And the synopsis is, a fulfilling life ensures a soul safe passage into eternity. But what happens to the soul of soldiers slain in battle? Enter the hair-raising Shadowlands maze and fight off demon samurais whose souls are cursed to rot within the death of purgatory. Guests will embark on a quest through a sacred shrine, an ancient Japanese temple, and into the midst of the Shadowlands.
So yeah, this was top notch as far as like design. It was completely immersive.
Well, immersive is a strong word.
You didn't think so? I thought so. I thought it was completely immersive.
As a side note, my immersive and your immersive are two very different things.
Well, how is this not immersive? What are you talking about?
The actors interact. I would say it's interactive. I wouldn't say it's necessarily immersive. I would say it's very interactive.
I'm defining immersive as the environment.
I'm defining immersive as being one with the scare actor.
I'm not talking about actors at all. I'm literally talking about the design of the place.
Then if we're just talking about design,
you're thinking about interactive. That's what's being one with the scare actors are. That's an interactive experience.
No, that's an immersive experience.
Oh boy, I don't know.
All right, whatever. Yeah. So, anyways, Shadowlands is beautiful. It is probably one of, if not the best designed maze I have seen in any of like the big theme parks.
Yeah, no, I mean, and the point I'm bringing home is that you feel like you're in these environments, which is like old Japan. And you go through these little, I don't know the names of things in Japan, but going to the little houses.
Yeah, it's incredible. And I believe it was designed by John Cook, who's one of the creative directors for Not Scary Farm.
Yeah, he was the one, I interviewed him on that show.
Yeah, it was, I was blown away. It's very rare to see that much design go into a haunt. So, I could have used a bit more scares, but other than that, that house was top notch.
Yeah, no, I liked it. It's hard to describe it. I guess that's kind of thing, but I really do feel like you're like a bad, not bad. I was going to say like, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know, just like a samurai movie, but it gets a little darker.
Yeah, if you're going to Not Scary Farm, I would definitely make sure that you go to this house. Absolutely, 100%. It's pretty amazing.
All right, let's go on to the next one.
Sure. So the next one is Black Ops Infected. There was Special Ops last year.
Whatever it was called. Essentially, it's been a few years, I believe. This is a interactive. This is literally interactive because you get to shoot zombies, basically, in a maze scenario. We
did not get to go through this one. The line was incredibly long. So I would suggest if you're going to Not Scary Farm to do this one first because the lines get ridiculous, even if you have front of line access.
Yeah, and for everyone that we've heard that went through it, they really enjoyed it. So I guess it's...
Yeah, from what I've heard, it's really, really good. The set design's really, really good. And they had a lot of fun, so...
All right, next one.
Back to the returning mazes. And this is probably my favorite one out of all of them. Well, with the exception of Shadowlands design, but regardless, is Paranormal Inc. So the synopsis is Paranormal Inc. features high-flying aerial stunts and scares as guests help investigate a haunted hospital where the patients were tortured for decades by deranged doctors and nurses. Demonic spirits of the murdered victims have been detected throughout the mysterious halls where evil medical staff prowl for new patients to torture.
Yeah, so this house is so much fun. It's so incredible, and this is exactly what I'm talking about, the kind of experience where you just feel like you're in the middle of something, essentially, which I don't really describe here. So Paranormal Inc. is one of these like ghost hunter TV shows, and they're at this place filming an episode, and so that's how it starts, and we're I guess a live audience for and things go terribly wrong.
Terribly.
And it is so cool. I put up a video on the Creepy Kingdom social media that you may have seen of this experience and so check that out if you're not planning to go or can't go. But it is.
It's
I love
really amazing, and I think one of my reviewers, Tal, he said it best. He said that he believes that this maze was the start of a new level of quality for Knott's Scary Farm, and I think that that's true, because then you had Shadowlands, which was this year, and that was incredible. So
Yeah, Paranormal is debuted last year,
yes.
I believe.
Yeah. So this one is a must-see if you've never been to Knott's. It's a ton of fun. And, I'll bring up some interesting points about this when we talk about Fear VR.
All right.
So the next one is The Gunslinger's Grave, A Blood Moon Rises. And the synopsis is A Blood Moon Rises continues the story of the gunslinger. The Red Hand Gang has disturbed a burial ground that contained a skinwalker relic that has transformed them into werewolves under the Blood Moon curse. Return to the Old West and walk in the bloody footsteps of a betrayed and left-for-dead gunslinger on his path to retribution. This journey back in time takes guests on a trail of terror through abandoned gold mines, a treacherous corral, a seedy saloon, and a final showdown at Town Hall.
Well, so essentially this is a werewolf western house.
Yes. And it's one thing that I loved about this house, which may be the only thing that I love about this, is the use of that area. Like, they did such a great job. Like, you get to walk through a saloon, and you get to walk through, like, the Wild West.
Yeah.
And that was really, really cool. Overall, I really didn't like this maze, though.
I liked the part where we walked through the brothel.
There is no brothel.
Yeah, there was.
There was?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't remember the brothel.
There definitely was. I mean, whether it was definitely a brothel or not, I'm not going to say that. But it kind of seemed as though it was a brothel. And
Isn't this a kid-friendly show?
Sure. And one of the inhabitants of the brothel had a feather. Do you remember this at all?
Oh, yes. Yeah. Okay.
And as we were walking through that, I mean, she wasn't a scare actor. She was just inside of this room.
She tickled me with the feather.
Yeah, I was going to say, she tickled me with the feather as well, too. So if you want to get tickled by a feather.
In a brothel.
That's worth the price of admission to Not Scary Farm right there.
I don't know if I'd go that far.
One thing that was kind of not good about this, I thought it was okay. I liked it maybe a little more than you, because I liked, they made use of what was already there. So but there's one, it's right up against some roller coaster, and there's definitely one part where like the coaster and the fluorescent lights that are near the coaster are in the backdrop of one scene.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I'm nitpicking there, but I mean, I felt like that was kind of bad show. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, it is what it is. But yeah, for me, this one was just, it didn't really do much for me. I also don't like werewolves, so.
I like them.
Well, awesome.
We're all wolves. Werewolves, you and I.
All right, we'll go to the next one, which is James's favorite, the Tooth Fairy.
No, so this one's we did it last year, and there's things about it that happened that I felt like actually creeped me out.
Well, why don't I tell them what the synopsis?
Yeah, we'll do that, and then we'll get into it.
This twisted tooth fairy steals more than just baby teeth as he drags his victims out of their
What kind of font is this?
out of their bedroom window and into a world of deranged dentistry. Unbelievable special effects include a blackout room through which guests must feel their way out, a disorienting X-ray strobe light room, and a final encounter with the massive tooth fairy himself. Say ah.
Yeah, I don't really know what it was, but there was when we did it last year, I felt really creeped out in there,
I think this is probably one of their more sinister mazes. It definitely is. I mean, it plays off the fears that most people have about going to the dentist. Like, I hate going to the dentist because they
most
have all
people.
those scary tools that make so much noise. And you would think in this day and age they'd find tools that make no noises, but whatever. I digress. I think it's a lot darker than all the other ones, so it kind of...
Well, I don't even mean by... You mean in tone or by
Yes.
light?
Tone.
Yeah, in tone for sure. Because last year, there was a few things going on there. We were totally alone.
Yes.
Like, there was no one around us, so that kind of adds to the creepy factor.
Yeah.
For sure. It was also very bright last year. I remember so many of the scenes being like very just bright, and I remember we turning a corner. There was like a receptionist area, and there's like these creepy nurses, and I turned the corner, and the three of them were just staring at me. And at that point, I was alone. Like, you weren't there, or you didn't, whatever. And I just remember, and they're just staring at me, and I was just like, "Hey guys." I was like, I'm going to get going. And they're like, well, then go. and anyways, but going through it again this year, I didn't feel as creeped out. I don't know why. Maybe just I knew what to expect. But also, I thought it was better because it was light-wise a lot darker.
Yeah.
In even that room where the receptionist was like,
yeah.
So I thought they improved on that. I don't know why they made it so bright last year.
I don't know. Maybe they were I don't know. So the next house is probably, I feel like it's like a national treasure to like Knott Scary Farm. And that is the Trick or Treat house. And the synopsis is, trick or treat, which will it be? Step forward and ring the witch's doorbell. Oh, she is home, but where? You are not quite sure. Don't be afraid. Her minions will guide you. You can come away with a treat, but is it worth it? I did not like this house last year, but for whatever reason, I absolutely loved it this year.
It's
And
practically
it's literally
the same
exact thing.
Like,
So I don't know if I just had a bad experience last year or what, but whatever the case may be, I loved it and I appreciated it much more this year than I did last year.
Yeah, I'd liked it the same because it's the same house. It was awesome. I mean, you really, the things that the witch is doing in the house are cool.
Oh yeah, I mean it's a really great witch house, and you don't see many haunts like that.
And by witch, we're talking like Wizard of Oz, Wicked Witch
Green
type
face.
stuff. Yeah.
And I love the set design. I love the exterior of it. I love the pumpkins going up the stairs. I love seeing the cauldron.
You can ring the doorbell when it comes in to say trick or treat.
It's a really great house, and I think I just had a bad run through last year, but this year I absolutely loved it. I thought it was terrific.
Yeah, no, it's one of those you kind of don't want it to end. Kind of feel like you just love being in the classic Halloween trick or treat environment.
Yeah. All right, so the next one is The Dead of Winter, Wendigo's Revenge. And the synopsis is, deep in the frozen tundra, the realm of a treacherous snow queen has been usurped by her evil minion, the horrific Wendigo. She may be dead, but her evil spell hasn't been lifted. The dead cannibals have risen from their snowy graves as hungry creatures feast on the surrounding villages. During the chaos, the queen's prized possession, the horrific Wendigo, has seized control of her throne, ready to prey upon any unsuspecting visitors who enter the borders of its icy domain.
All right.
I didn't really like this one this year, but I loved it last year.
It's interesting because it's
arguably
better this year.
Yeah. I don't know why I felt that way.
One thing that's weird about it is you walk in the building, and when you walk in the building, it's as though you're walking down a hallway in an office.
Yeah.
And is pretty pretty just no theming at all. And as you walk into a wall of fog.
Yes.
As you keep going through it, then you're in the environment. It was an interesting like at least it takes you somewhere else. But
Yeah.
I don't know why they didn't start that experience at the door.
Yeah, I don't know that.
It wasn't even that far of a distance.
Yeah, I don't, because they didn't do that last year either, right?
I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know. I was very kind of like ho-hum about this house, and I thought some of the designs were incredible. I love seeing the people under the ice, like as you walk over them.
That was cool. That people under ice. What I liked about it, that the kind of fake snow
Yeah.
thing, and also everything is so white because it's snow and ice, and to see all this blood splatter around the pristine,
Yeah.
clean, quote unquote environment, that was fun. I thought they had some cool animatronics in there. I thought it was pretty good. I mean, it was darker. It's back to the theme of something last year. It was really bright in there last year, and they actually made it a little more spooky vibe there, because it wasn't that at all last year, which is surprising that you liked it so much last year, because it really
I liked how cold it was last year.
because it just wasn't really. It felt spookier and creepier this year.
Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know. And the next one, and the last of our mazes, is Voodoo Order of the Serpent. The synopsis is: beware the cursed swamps of New Orleans, where mindless zombies trudge through the murky bogs in search of bloody sacrifices, and demons use voodoo curses to possess innocent souls. Choose your path carefully, children, for one wrong turn and you will be hexed forever.
This is my favorite house at Not Scary Farm, hands down. I absolutely love this.
As with 3D houses, I have yet to find a voodoo house that I love.
What do you want?
I
like what was missing from this house that you wanted?
Scares. That's the biggest
What are
thing.
you talking about?
There
were
have
so many scares
never
in this
really
house.
been scared in this house, or a zombie, or I'm sorry, not zombie, or a voodoo house ever. I will say that Not Scary Farm has one of the best designed voodoo mazes I've ever seen. Like, without a doubt. But there's never been a time where I've been scared. So,
Well, back to my take on it. I'm not looking to be scared. Isn't what I want over anything. I want to be in these environments, and it was just mind blowing. I mean, from the very first room you walk into, you just are transported to a creepy, seedy New Orleans, and it is incredible. They have the rope. What do they call the people on ropes kind of swing at you? I don't know if there's like a phrase for that.
I don't know what the name is for it specifically.
Yeah, it is cool. You get to walk through all these houses, like people's homes.
Yeah.
And then you walk through the swamps, and it is super hot. You get to walk through a graveyard where all these things happen. That I don't even want to ruin it all for you. I mean, I love it. I love being in that environment. It is incredible. Like, it was at the end of we didn't have time to do everything, but I kept thinking, like, if we had time and we got to do something else again, I was like, I got to go back to voodoo. Fortunately, it didn't happen, but I would. In fact, I still want to go back this year, and voodoo is one of the reasons. So I'm a huge, advocate and fanboy for this house. It was one of the things I loved last year, and this is the type of thing that I look for in a haunted attraction, and I feel like they could have had more scare actors and they could do more. It's not like the best thing of all time, but I love it.
I mean, it's a great interactive experience, and you are fully immersed in the world
Yes.
of voodoo. And I love that. I think it's great. I love the design. I love the different areas you get to travel through. It's just, I want to be scared when I go to a haunt. That's pretty much the whole purpose of going to a haunt, is to be scared.
Not for you though, because that's not what I look for at all.
people.
Sure, but I'm just saying,
Right.
I'm taking it from a different tactic, and I'm just like, that's not what's drawing me in.
Yeah. That's
Like,
fine.
You know, I like being in these dark, creepy environments. You know,
Yeah.
like
And voodoo is a great place to experience that.
are we gonna fight?
No.
You're giving me some dirty looks. Hey, Roxy,
Hey, James.
how's it going?
Pretty good. How are you?
I'm doing great. You know why?
Why?
Because Creepy Kingdom has officially launched a Patreon account.
Patreon? What's Patreon?
Well, let me tell you, Patreon is a way that the listeners of the show can support us.
So, like a Kickstarter?
Not exactly. Kickstarter only is a one-time thing. On Patreon, our listeners can support us every month. And in exchange for them supporting us, we will give them special, super awesome prizes.
How much do they have to pay to support us?
They can pay whatever they want. You could pay $1 a month. You could pay $10, $100. It's up to them.
That's really cool. So, how can Creepy Kingdom fans find this Patreon thing?
Well, you could go to creepykingdom.com and check the show notes on our recent episodes, or you could go to patreon.com/creepykingdom. That's patreon.com.
I'm going to go check it out right now.
Me too.
Moving on. So next are the skeleton key rooms. And as James mentioned before, these are an upcharge. They come with the front of the line passes. And there's definitely some pros and cons with these skeleton key rooms. There's 4 of them. And
We did 3 or 2?
we only did 3.
Okay.
Or we did 3 out of the 4. The one that we did not do is called Visions.
What was that?
They, guests can investigate the Green Witch Museum in Ghost Town. And they're using a Phantom Finder augmented reality device
Okay.
to identify and witness paranormal activity connected to the artifacts from the Sarah Marshall witch trial. So we did not get to experience that one, but we experienced the other 3, which were Prey, Visions, and Zozo.
No, not Visions. We Slasher.
I'm sorry.
Prey and Zozo.
Yes, Slasher, Prey, and Zozo. So I guess we'll start with our least favorite, which was Prey. And the
Oh,
synopsis.
that's your least. Why are you putting my?
My least favorite is Prey.
I mean, it's true, but you just put. You just.
I knew that it was also your least favorite. The synopsis was navigate a wicked hay maze packed with dead ends while equipped with only a faulty lantern as your guide. You are not alone. Mutant beasts are released to prey upon wandering visitors. The only way out is by facing your worst nightmares. I love the concept of this. Like, I really wanted to love this. I love that we got these lanterns. But the experience as a whole was kind of a hot mess.
I felt like the space was like way too small for this type of
Yeah.
lantern discovery experience.
They didn't utilize the space properly, and they could have done a lot more with it. That's pretty much...
I mean, because we, just to compare, we have gone through a haunt that had flashlights,
Yes.
and the thing that the similarities is that they control based on sensors, whatever, when they turn off and on, so that
Yeah.
and it was a full maze. It was a totally different theme, but
Right.
So with this, it was kind of like a quarter of a maze. Like we walked down this one path, and there's someone else telling us to turn around.
Yeah, it wasn't... I don't think the execution was done properly. So I just was not a huge fan of this one.
What I didn't like was we had to crawl out, and I was in a weird awkward position, and I'm just not built for
Yeah, crawling's never a good time.
for that.
So I believe this would be both of our middle range one that we liked, which is Slasher.
Yes.
And the synopsis is, guests are invited to step into a blood-filled 80s slasher horror film. The masked angel maker killer is on the loose, Every lead has run cold, and that's when you step into the picture. Will you become his next victim?
Yeah. Maybe.
Yes. We accidentally exited when we first got in, so I think that took the surprise away from the experience.
Went back inside.
We went back inside. I liked it, though. I thought it was cool, everything that was done.
Essentially, what's happening is that it goes black, and then this guy appears out of nowhere. Then it goes black, and then there's this grotesque stuff that's all around you. Then it goes black, and then it's closer to you.
Yeah.
And you don't, so essentially it's like the switch of a show scene in a split second.
But it was fun.
Yeah.
I liked it. I liked the fact that it went all black, and then there was a flashing light, and your vision was all off. So I thought that was pretty cool. So I liked it much better than Prey.
Yeah, it was amusing.
And the last one, which was hands down our favorite, if not my absolute favorite thing of the night, was Zozo. The synopsis is, people from all over the world claim to have been visited by the Ouija demon Zozo after a spirit board session. Is a demonic entity known as Zozo real, or are spirit boards just a myth?
I mean, so you go to a seance, basically, and, you go in a group of 6?
Yes.
Something like that. And what was cool is that, for us at least, is that we were all in a group with our friends, so it was all people we knew. And we sat down at this table, and it is essentially like you are in some type of a horror movie, or where a seance is going on, and when creepy things start happening, like, they happen. And then, I'm trying not to spoil it without saying what happens.
It's incredible.
But I was like, wow. Like, again, this is the kind of stuff that I want to experience.
Yeah.
And it was so much fun. It made you scream, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I screamed. I loved it. I would have gone back like 15 times. I thought it was terrific.
Do you think it's too scary for novices?
I don't know.
I feel like if you've gone through some of the houses by that point, it's not that.
If you can go through Tooth Fairy, you'll be fine. Yeah.
But, if you ever wanted to know what a seance was like when things go bad and not do it for real, which I wouldn't suggest, this is a really great simulation of that.
Yes. So the next things would be the shows.
Yes. They have 2 shows. They have The Hanging, which is kind of like their riff on pop culture, and then the Elvira show, as mentioned earlier.
Yes. So why don't we talk about The Hanging?
Yeah, so originally when they announced The Hanging, it was supposed to be called Finding Gory, which is a spin on Finding Dory. So obviously I was excited about that, being the Creepy Kingdom guy. But that was not true, because that was not Finding Gory. It had nothing to do with Finding Dory or anything like that at all.
No, I mean, I had heard, people either seem to love or hate The Hanging. I thought it was okay.
Yeah, I mean, if you're familiar, and a lot of listeners probably are, I've heard of the Bill and Ted show at Hollywood Horror Nights. It's kind of their thing. I'm not sure the chicken or the egg came first here, but
yeah, I don't know.
But essentially, it's kind of the whole show is leading up that someone every year they need to hang in pop culture, I guess, for being too annoying. I don't know.
Yeah, essentially. I mean, I totally agreed with who they hung this year.
Really?
Oh, yeah, I thought it was great. And spoiler alert, I will tell you what it is.
No, don't.
Oh, I won't tell you what it is.
Don't tell you. I didn't think you would agree, though.
Oh, no, I thought it was great. It was not what I expected, so I was all for it. I thought it was hysterical. That was the only part I liked.
I thought that there was moments of fun here. There are a few stunts that goes on there. Lots of bloodshed,
yes.
Which I thought was I wasn't expecting. So it was a little more violent than anticipated.
Yeah.
So that's fun. The humor's kind of just hit or miss, though.
Yeah.
And I guess overall, I was just kind of disappointed that they changed the theme that they had announced less than a month earlier.
I don't know, though, if that was a theme. Like, I don't know, like, because it's just pop culture related.
Yeah, but there was there was never said anything about that.
That's true.
Like, there was no mention of Dory at all.
Yeah, no, that's true.
So to name it, this year's hanging is called Finding Gory. Just keep killing, just keep killing. Like, you would, you would think that's the theme, because this theme was, the presidential candidates.
Yes.
So, shocker, but whatever, so, because, our candidates are,
interesting people.
yeah. So, this is not a political show. So we watched it, and there's a few moments of there, and then we went on with our lives.
Yeah, so the next show was Elvira's Dance Macabre, and I was not a huge fan of last year's show, but I really liked this year's show. It's a combination of Elvira making boob jokes and...
Which was great.
Whatever. And a dance troupe and aerialists and fire breathers and, karaoke. So I really liked it. I was all for it.
Yeah, no, I loved it.
Or as I should say, scarioke, not karaoke.
Scarioke. I mean, Elvira is, she's been around as long as I've been watching stuff. Like I guess you say I've been an Elvira fan probably most of my life. She looks like almost exactly the same as when she. My earliest memory of her is her movie, Mistress of the Dark, which a lot of maybe people of my generation, became familiar with her from that film, but. She was great. I thought it was really funny. She had, she said if you're tweeting or whatever, to put out this hashtag. She had this really long, ridiculous hashtag that when I posted a video of hers, I used the hashtag just about to make sure I got it. But I mean, it's still really cool that there's a place where you could go see Elvira. Like she's a legend.
Yeah.
She's iconic and she's a legend, and she could do this. I don't know if this show in particular stands on its own outside of Not Scary Farm, but she could put on a show and on its own, and she doesn't need to be part of Not Scary Farm. So it's a really cool bonus. I think there had to be more added to the show for it to be a.
She did a great job.
Because it's about a half an hour. So it's not like if you went to a theater, and you would probably expect at least an hour.
Yeah.
But it's pretty incredible. I mean, who knows if she's coming back again. So
yeah.
I feel like Elvira is not going to keep, or Cassandra Peterson is just, she hasn't officially announced her retirement, but,
I think it's probably looming.
Yeah. It was weird. In 2007, there was this reality show, like a competition show.
Okay.
And I only saw the last episode because I didn't even know it existed. Where it was a competition to become the next Elvira.
Oh.
When it was hosted by Elvira. So right there, you kind of thought she was handing over the wig, I guess.
Yeah.
But I guess whoever won didn't cut it, and she had to keep going.
Yeah. And last but not least, there's the scare zones that are peppered throughout, which I'll go through.
The scare cones.
Scare zones. I'll just go through them real quick. There was the Carnival. The boardwalk was taken over by Carnival, where, there are clowns.
This one, it was it's kind of like a carnival-esque area already of Knott's Berry Farm. So it wasn't really redone, and it was just a bunch of clowns getting in your face as you walk through there on your way to Shadowlands.
Yeah. The one I would have loved to have seen, but nobody I know has seen anything from it, is the Deadly Seven.
Where was it?
I have no idea because nobody has seen anybody from it, so I don't know.
Did they not have it? I mean,
I don't know if they didn't have it, but it had to essentially it had to do with the 7 deadly sins, and they were supposed to be making appearances throughout the night, but nobody that I know has seen anybody.
This picture on your review looks like a black bar.
I know.
Is there actually an image?
Yeah.
Very vaguely. I was like,
Yeah.
that is the darkest picture I've ever seen.
Another scare zone was the Fiesta de los Muertos.
Feast of the Dead.
Yeah.
I mean, that was it was okay. Again, a lot of what I'm noticing with the not scare zones is that they don't really do up the areas. It's more of just the actors are there.
Yeah.
Which I like the areas to be done up a little more personally.
And obviously the most well-known one is Ghost Town Streets. That's where it all started.
Yep, and that's where the sliders
Yes.
of Ghost Town is
sliders.
There's a documentary about them.
Yep.
Whether it's coming or it's out or I don't know.
And the newest one this year was The Hollow, and that was a pretty cool one. This is
Where
where
was that?
As we were leaving, it was in that area by Snoopy's camp or whatever.
I don't remember this. So.
And this is where, the Headless Horseman was located. And
What?
Yeah, I didn't see the Headless Horseman.
I was like, I don't even know what you're talking about.
Yeah. I really liked the designs and the makeup in this area. I thought it was cool.
Well, I don't remember it, so I'm going to take your word for it.
And of course, we keep mentioning it. There was also one more experience. It was called Fear VR 5150.
Okay.
And it's a virtual reality experience that is no longer at Knott's Scary Farm. It was there for like a total of maybe a week, and has since been shut down due to the complaints of people who had never experienced it, thinking that it was, what's the word I'm looking for? Disrespectful to people with mental illness. And it's not. I think it's a shame that Knott's closed it.
Yeah.
From what I heard, it was pretty cool. It had to do with a demonic possessed girl and actually nothing about mental illness. So, I think it's always upsetting when, a right-wing fanatic, gets something shut down.
Well, I think the issue here too is maybe there's some right wing fanatics listening, but the issue here is that any type of group organization that is offended by something that feels that other people don't have the right to experience it, that's the problem. That
Right.
is actually disgusting to me. That, you could be so selfish. And I actually think it's evil.
Yeah.
I wouldn't go that far. True evil, just horrible, disgusting human beings that feel that because they don't want to experience it or don't want their children to experience it, that no one else gets to
Right. experience
experience it. So I'm just going to be specific on the type of people we're talking about that got this experience shut down.
Yeah, I mean, the whole point of Halloween and horror in general is to, push your limits of comfortability. It doesn't have to be a lot. I'm not saying go to extreme events, but you're supposed to be scared. You're supposed to be freaked out. And if it's something that you don't want in your life, then that is something that you choose to not have in your life. It doesn't mean that you should be, trying to stop other people from enjoying it.
Right. That's the bottom line. Shannon wrote a very heartfelt editorial about her thoughts on it.
I did.
When this happened.
You can find it on nightmarishconjurings.com.
Which got a lot of attention.
It did. And, as somebody who has battled with mental illness before, I mean, my favorite haunts have to do with asylums. So, you know, I understand not everybody's like me, but, you know, if it was something that triggered me, I wouldn't go.
Yeah, I mean that's the bottom line there. So we're not going to get too deep into. That's kind of that could be a whole thing.
Yes.
But you know, overall, it was worth mentioning. Of course, you may have heard of this, as it did get a little bit of attention in the theme park world, even outside of the haunt community. And you know, unfortunately, we did not experience it firsthand, but neither did the people that wanted it removed. So,
yes. I mean, overall, I think Knott's Scary Farm is a great haunted attraction. Like somebody myself who's from the East Coast, I think that Knott's Scary Farm is definitely the essence of Halloween in Southern California.
Yeah, no, I think it's great, and I think that since Disney doesn't do haunts or anything close to Disneyland, as you will hear in the future episodes, that Hong Kong Disneyland does celebrate Halloween with haunts, because we have some buddies out there that are experiencing it for their honeymoon, so we're going to hear some tales of that firsthand, but you know, there's things in there that may be like super scary for people that don't do it, but overall, like going to see Trick or Treat, you know, Voodoo,
yeah,
stuff like that. You know, you're gonna love it.
Absolutely, it's really a really great haunt, and I'm so glad that we were able to go this year.
Yeah, for sure. Not Scary Farm. I think it's a staple.
Yep. And we look forward to seeing its continued growth in the years to come.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's going to happen. I'm sure it's not, but I'd like to try to get back there.
Yeah.
But it's probably unlikely with the crazy shooting schedule of Foolish Mortals and all the haunted stuff that I'm going to with you.
Yeah.
So it's going to be nuts. But yeah, thanks for hopping on the Creepy Kingdom train to talk about haunts.
No problem.
She just gave me the thumbs up, by the way. Everyone listening couldn't see it, but I just want to point out.
I did. That's how I roll. Thumbs up.
Thumbs up. Well, Shannon, do you have any last words?
No, I mean, you know, if you're interested in haunts, if you want to know more about haunts, please, you know, hit me up. I've actually started hearing from people wanting to know more, which is really, really cool. And, you know, we at Nightmarish Conjurings believe that there's something out there for everybody if you are looking for haunts, whether it's, you know, friendly, you know, just fun experiences like Mickey's Halloween Party up to extreme haunts like Blackout. So, you know, if there's anything that you are interested in, like, please feel free to reach out to us. You can email us at nightmarishconjurings@gmail.com or hit us up on any of our social media sites.
Right on. So that's going to conclude this episode, but we have more haunts to talk about.
Yes.
You know, coming up in a future episode, like Queen Mary's Dark Harbor.
Woo!
And, of course, Halloween Horror Nights.
Orlando.
We're not going to talk about Hollywood?
Oh, and Hollywood. I'm sorry. I forgot. I went without him. So, yes.
So maybe we won't talk about it? I don't know. Maybe we will. I don't know. We'll talk about something.
Yes. Well, thank you for having me.
Thanks for coming on.
Anytime.